This is breaking news from CBS News Sacramento.
That breaking news here at 5 o'clock. We're awaiting a press conference any minute now from officials regarding yesterday's massive Medline warehouse fire in Tracy. We'll be sure to bring you that once it begins. Thanks for joining us for the CBS 13 News at 5 o'clock. I'm Brady Halbleib. Behind me are videos of the flames from yesterday and also from today. Yesterday, a dark plume of smoke, while today, a little bit less intense, but it is still burning. Let's show you where this happened. It was just west of downtown Tracy in San Joaquin County. This is an industrial area. Let's get right over to CBS 13's Madison Keevy Field anchoring our coverage tonight. Madison, what are we learning?
Well, Brady, that fire is still burning. They've got an aerial ladder dropping water. There's still smoke coming off of this 1 million square foot warehouse. Now, it's a very different scene when we talk about smoke from 24 hours ago, where that massive black plume of smoke could be seen for miles around the footprint of this warehouse. But crews have been actively dumping water on hot spots. And now we're going to get that update from the Tracy Fire Chief as it stands right now. Let's go to that live.
As to what our crews have been able to accomplish today, we've been very pleased with our progress. The firefighters have been working in these weather conditions consisting of 95 degrees, sustained winds over 15 miles an hour, and very low humidities. They're wearing their full protective gear, working long time duration hours, so I want to thank them for their continued hard work. A lot of multiple jurisdictions are assisting us with these efforts today, from in-county and out-of-county as these operations continue. We've been flowing a tremendous amount of water all day from 4 master stream devices, 2 on the ground called ground monitors, 2 in the air, aerial master streams. We're flowing about 4,000 gallons a minute right now, which is it adds up to a couple million gallons worth of water today so far, just within the last 10 hours or so. The water that is running off of the facility is actually being captured. There's a system that's set up called bioswells that's built into the facility, so they have the ability to capture a lot of water in their own stormwater runoff. So that's what's happening. Outside of that, if it breaches that maximum containment, here in the International Park of Commerce, where all of these large distribution centers are, they actually have it privately owned, where there's an additional detention basin that this water will be running to. And we will continue to work with environmental health and public health officials to do some sampling. That sampling has not happened yet. We've engaged our hazardous materials division, who's been working with all of our allied agencies from county OES and the EPA, public health, and Valley Air Pollution Control has been doing a tremendous job. They've been monitoring for well over 24 hours now consistently. Very happy to report that the plume modeling that we just did, the predictive modeling, we've been having very favorable wind directions with this sustained winds, and it's keeping the smoke column that's behind me away from the residential area up to about a half mile right now. So hopefully the winds continue to work in our favor. And we still have some crews that are coming in to replace the current crews that have been working all day, trying to give some breaks to those that have been working in the sun all day long. We do expect the operational period to continue all the way through the night. As you can see, the density and the volume of smoke has changed drastically from this morning at 8 o'clock. Now the smoke is a lot lighter and it's not quite traveling as far. And so those are all benefits for this long-term duration that we're dealing with. The fire is still under investigation in coordination with our fire marshal as well as the ATF. And this afternoon, I have the mayor, Dan Ariola, and Sergeant Mike Richards from the Tracy Police Department that are available, and the mayor would like to say a few words.
I just want to say thank you all for being here, and I just want to take a moment to recognize our fire, police, and emergency responses. We had such an incredible collaborated effort, and there were so many partner agencies that came to our aid, and I just want to take a moment to say thank you for the assistance to our community. At this time, while the fire's been contained here, we want to recognize that there may still be some concerns, particularly when it comes to air quality. Earlier today, I had an opportunity to meet with the San Joaquin Office of Emergency Services, and they're encouraging us to look at their resources at airnow.gov. The community can get the most up-to-date information and the particular guidelines that go. At this point, there are some portions of the city that have some moderate concerns. So please check airnow.gov for the most up-to-date air quality instructions. On behalf of the City of Tracy, we also are now currently street sweeping some of the debris that has occurred through this. That will continue, but we are asking residents at this time to please not touch the debris. We are working with the County Office of Emergency Services to see what the best guidelines are, but at this time, we're asking our residents to please not touch the debris that may be near their homes. Any updated guidance will come from sjready.org, so please also check that for up-to-date guidelines. And on behalf of the entire community, the City of Tracy is very resilient. We are so thankful for our law enforcement, fire, public health partners, and we know that we'll get through this together. Thank you.
And we're open to answering some questions.
Deputy Chief Begley, can you tell me about the missions to go in and get the medical supplies out today, how that went? Do you have any idea how many supplies? And then also on the, earlier today you said that the fire inspections passed on the systems back in January for the sprinklers, the hydrants, and pumps. Anything new on that this afternoon on why they might have failed when they were needed most?
So I'll start with the fire systems. It's still under investigation with the fire marshal. As you can imagine, an incident of this scale and magnitude of the complexity of the building being over 1 million square feet, lots of questions, and they're starting at square one, and so we haven't gotten to that particular answer yet as why the systems failed. As far as getting some of those trucks that had commodities and goods ready to be shipped out for services, that did happen. There was probably anywhere from 10 to 15 tractors and trailers that were removed from the property today. Working in conjunction with our hazardous materials team, they identified that the best course of action to be able to render those vehicles safe for traveling on the road and getting to their destinations with those commodities was a large mass decon. So that took place today with fire engine companies spraying basically a large car wash, if you will, minus the soap and the scrub brushes. And that water was retained, and we made sure that it stayed on site and it did not get into the municipal storm drain system.
Deputy Chief, could you talk a little bit more about the outside inspection system for the suppression system, and maybe who did that inspection, why those tests are outsourced, what was the outcome, and if you think maybe anything had to be corrected, what that might be?
Sure. So it's a third-party testing company. The owner and occupant of the building gets to choose who that contractor is. So we don't govern or tell them specifically who that has to be, and there's multiple agencies that will be available to conduct that testing. When they select that company and the company is moving their way through that process, they engage with a fire permit, an operational fire permit, our community risk reduction division, and so our inspectors are there to kind of witness and sign off that the testing was done correctly in accordance to the standards.
Can you repeat the question? What's the task?
Sure.
So, Deputy Chief, talking about the low water pressures, I mean, when we talk about when your crews first started pulling water, was that an immediate thing they faced, or was it after they started pulling water and then met those low water pressures?
So in regards to the question of having low water pressure from either the sprinkler system and or from the yard hydrants, that was immediately upon arriving on scene. When we connected to the very first fire hydrant, there was no water essentially coming out of that hydrant. It was very, very minimal, and the fire marshal was quick to be on scene, ran to the fire pump room and verified that the gauge was at 0 and the fire pump was running. However, with the gauge, we know that there was no water being delivered to the sprinkler system effectively, and the yard hydrants as well. So in order to effectively get water on the fire, we had to make sure that we were connecting to the municipal water supply, and those extended times caused fire engine companies to basically connect hose lines upwards around 1,600 feet was our maximum distance.
Deputy Chief, what do you guys have for question? This has been a massive fire, huge structure. Help us maybe understand. We've seen it, wildfires using aerial drops. Is that something that's not effective or too expensive in this situation? It seems like it may have helped. I know earlier yesterday, maybe not visibly, you might not be able to do it. but can you maybe explain that first?
Sure. The question is basically why are we not kind of using helicopters as we do in the wildland urban interface environment? Those are very effective for light flashy fuels. They don't burn very long. They burn hot, but they burn very rapidly. And the materials, of course, of this type 1 construction here, this distribution center, is very robust. And so in order to penetrate, it's a lot of water that it takes. So that's why we're utilizing the aerial devices and the ground monitors to apply water application. Some helicopters are dropping just a couple hundreds of gallons, and they got to circle back and find their water source. So it's not very it's very time consuming and not very effective in this particular fire engagement.
Going into now and into tonight, what are you guys focused on?
So we're going to continue to work the hot spots. We want to make sure that the emper casting does not continue to get any worse than what it is. Like I said, we've had tremendous progress. So we're going to continue to apply water through the rest of the night. I'm glad to say that all 3 of the other locations that were on fire, the FedEx facility that's adjoining or adjacent to the Medline facility, that fire is 100% under control and fully contained and extinguished, as well as the 2 grass fires, the one at the airport and the one on Lammers Road. We've released all of those resources for those 3 incidents, and they've all gone back to the respective agencies. No, there's a total loss. There is no saving the building. Thank you. I appreciate you guys being here.
Social media video circulating. Have you taken a look at that?
Thank you.
We've just heard from the Tracy Fire Department, the deputy chief there. One of the big takeaways that's new for us today is that they say they're doing street cleaning in some of these areas on the streets that are near this warehouse fire to get rid of that debris. Again, we've heard that this footprint of the fire, of course, was maintained just to the warehouse, but the impacts of that smoke traveled out beyond. So they're street cleaning there. They also say they're still, of course, investigating the cause of this fire. Also reiterating that yesterday when they got on scene, the sprinklers, the fire sprinklers were not going off, and they said they were viewed in the fire pump room. It was at 0, which means no water was coming in. So that's something else that they're also investigating. Now, when we talk about safety in this building, they've been under investigation before. In fact, 3 days before this fire on Monday, a safety complaint was filed with Cal OSHA. They told us that because it's an open case, they can't give us specific details, but this is one of a handful of safety complaints that have been made against this very warehouse and the Medline company since 2022. It's cost them thousands of dollars in fines. A spokesperson for Cal OSHA says that they're currently not investigating or opening an inspection on this incident, keyword being currently. I also heard from a Medline spokesperson just this afternoon, and she says they can't comment on any of those complaints because it's an active investigation. Of course, this is something we're going to continue to push on and dig more into. If those safety complaints could give us any idea of what was going on in this warehouse as far as safety goes leading up to this fire. Now, of course, the investigation, that's something that we're going to go now to Nina Burns for. She was one of the first reporters on the scene yesterday and has been digging into this investigation. Nina, I know you've been looking into what went wrong.
That's right, Madison. I just want to start off and talk about what you reported on last night. And when you spoke to that employee who took that video of what he claims were the first few sparks of flames that we saw, and you also spoke to him. And to say right now, we didn't get an answer when we did ask about that social media post. They said no more comment, but we did bring that video that you obtained yesterday to a previous fire chief who says he's not sure what went wrong with their sprinkler system when it's the first offense in this type of fire.
I mean, this is a fire that seems to be running on the roof deck, kind of like a grass fire, how it just moves across.
What appears to be the first flames, sparking the first questions. Retired Deputy Fire Chief John McElhaney reviewing this video, captured by a Medline employee, showing the fire near the roof of the medical supply warehouse.
The video didn't last that long, you know.
The employee says the flames move fast with no warning.
I didn't hear no alarm. You know, everything else kind of ran in my mind, like, you know, where's the water, where's the alarms?
There are people in the sprinkler industry that say that each sprinkler head is a firefighter.
The South San Joaquin County Fire Authority says there's no evidence sprinklers activated.
despite records showing the system was checked in January.
If the system was inspected in January and shown to be working and functional, we would expect it to work today.
Tracy Fire Chief Randall Bradley says it will take time to figure out why some hydrants weren't as operational as they should have been. According to Michelini, pressure can drop when crews are pulling that much water from hydrants.
The water system is not designed for a fire of this size. I mean, this is a story because this is a huge fire, and it's not a typical fire.
And says what matters is when that pressure problem started.
Now, when they first pulled up, there was no water pressure and the first engine hooked up, that is a question to be answered.
For Michelini, that's what investigators still have to answer.
How did this get so advanced so quickly? What was the cause of the fire? And more specifically, why were we not seeing systems that are in place to slow the spread of a fire functioning as designed?
And just a few moments ago, we did get a few of those questions answered. And when it comes to the water pressure, like you just heard, he said it's not unusual for it to get low after they start using water. But we just heard from Tracy Fire that it was low as soon as crews started to tap in. Why, we're not quite sure. When it comes to the sprinkler system, they say that's still under investigation. But one thing to note is they say they are using an enormous amount of water. Just today, they said they've already used millions of gallons. So while we did get some answers, we're still waiting to see exactly what failed that sprinkler system that we saw with those flames that clearly did not get put out, Madison.
Nina, thank you for that reporting, and we know you'll stay on this and get some of those answers as we move forward, because this is one of the #1 questions we've heard from people. It's about that fire sprinkler system. The other question we've heard from people that are closer to the footprint of this fire, air quality. This has been a concern since we saw that big black plume of smoke yesterday. There's still smoke going into the air. The NOAA map that you're looking at there actually shows the quality now. Those tiny orange dots are actually from that fire, and it shows just the scale of the impact. For sensitive groups, the air quality is unhealthy. And of course, there have been warnings put out that if you don't have to be outside and you live in this area, stay indoors. Of course, Carmela Karcher joins me now. You've been talking to neighbors and the people who are most directly impacted from what we're seeing in the sky.
Yeah, absolutely right. And as we mentioned, yesterday there were a lot of flying embers, there were a lot of spot fires, and that's something that neighbors were also concerned about. But again, it's that air quality and what is exactly in the air, because again, we can smell those plastics out here. But again, it's because of that thick billowing smoke. It is still currently burning. You can still see it across the entire valley, and that's exactly what neighbors are concerned about as of right now.
Seriously, blue sky, but then there's the fire.
This was Tracy resident Ron Battle's view as he was heading back home Thursday afternoon. Nearly 24 hours later, smoke is still billowing out of the Medline warehouse just a few miles from his home.
Right now I feel all right, but if the wind changes, yeah, I'm going to be really concerned.
Other neighbors say they found ash and debris in their yards far away from the scene. For Ron, his main concern is what's in the air.
There's all kinds of other chemical stuff that could possibly affect my grandkids who live right here with us. And I don't want them to get, some long-term disease.
This video was taken just off the 205, showing just how far and wide this smoke is being carried across the entire San Joaquin Valley. The Valley Air District says they expect smoke to keep moving eastward into areas in the northern and central portions of the valley. And surface smoke impacts could be possible as far south as Kings and Tulare counties, as well as portions of Kern County.
Prepare yourself for the potential for that smoke to shift. That's the other thing. We always do our best to predict which way it's going and get a sense of the air quality conditions as we work through it, but it can change. And if you're like, I'm in an area that they said was fine and I didn't see haze and suddenly you do, and maybe you smell something, use those as your first line indicators.
And with high temperatures and humidity, officials say the combination can trap particulate matter in the air, creating hazardous conditions.
The shifting winds and just weather in general could change, and if you start smelling something, that's an indication that maybe it's being an influence in your area.
The best rule of thumb, if you see ash or smell smoke, particulate matter is likely in the air, and the best way to prevent any from getting into your lungs is to stay indoors.
You never know what they're putting in the air. I mean, I'm glad the wind is kind of blowing that way, because if it was, I don't know, where can it go? I mean, once it drops down, it's going to affect somebody badly.
Yeah, and Madison, as the officials just mentioned too, that there were hazardous materials in here and there were some robots that did have these lithium batteries, but they're still investigating exactly what burned and what could be impacting the rest of the community here.
Carmela, thank you. And the wind working, they say, obviously in their favor today, kind of blowing it out. You see it blowing our hair. It's also blowing some of that smoke out of this direct line where they're working to still put out those flames. So thanks for your reporting. Now we have continued coverage here of this breaking news story. Everything from that first report of a fire on the ground yesterday, where we went on air and stayed on air with you to bring you every update live, through to where things stand from that last live update with the Tracy Police Department. That's all on our website, cbs13.com. Of course, we'll have more from here in Tracy as the Medline medical facility continues to burn here just 24 hours plus since it first caught fire. And Brady, we'll have more coming up here in the next half hour.